Well, welcome, welcome all. We are the Global Grandmothers Council Network, and it's so good to have you all here. It's really exciting. This is a time of great movement and great things are happening, and we're really excited to share with you all and hear from you all. So I'm Mayana Kingery. I'm the administrator of the nonprofit Ggcn and kind of managing the whole shebang here from Virginia. I'm in Stewart, Virginia, which is southwest rural, very rural Virginia. And we have several things that we want to cover today. I'll just briefly share that we want to talk about our name. I have a grand idea to add a little space. We're going to talk about our growing relationships with all the other grandmother groups and women's groups that we're forming deep relationships with. And we're going to talk about our Facebook group community and the stewardship of it and its evolution, and just have a living conversation here. So if at any time you feel like you have something urgent that's coming through you, simply raise your hand, and when the moment's right, we'll call you to speak. I want to make note, first of all, before we'll have a moment to go deep, but before we really begin, but I want to honor that Grandmother Sharon Raji Maynard is with us, and she is our co-founder with Suzanne Lewis, who passed last fall. And we really thank you for being here. Let's just take a deep breath together, maybe 3 deep breaths together. Just center in your being, feel your heart space, and breathe in through your nose very slowly. Fill up and hold. And release. And we'll do 3 breaths. Breathe in. Hold. And release. Breathe in. Hold. And release. And with that, we know that as we breathe together, we're breathing the same air. The same molecules are in the air, and the air that was here will be where you are very soon. It travels around the earth, and through our breath, we touch one another. Through our heart space in the inners, we connect with one another. I encourage you just to feel your heart, and now look at each face and really connect with each individual here. And I'm going to set the view. Welcome. Welcome. Kelly, I would like to invite Kelly to say a couple of words before we begin, or as we begin.
Okay. um, well, I invite us to enter our hearts together here and to hold this space as sacred for all hearts, and to speak from our hearts in the best way, and to listen with our hearts in the best way, and to show up in this place of connection with love and blessings and good intentions, and just inviting in the divine hand to guide us, to support us, to lead and protect, clear, and make available what is in our highest best as we move through this conversation together and this gathering and hold purpose, focus, and deep love and appreciation, respect, and honor for each other. Ashe. Blessings. Thank you.
Ashe. Ashe. Thank you, Kelly. That was beautiful. Isn't it wonderful to be here?
Yeah.
From a dream for me, the awakening from Charles to reaching out to Sharon and Gail and Suzanne. When they were 1,200, and I asked, were they interested in expanding to other cultures? Suzanne replied with a yes, we are. And following on from that, I was asked to become an administrator. And a few days later, we were 1,800. A couple of months later, we got to 24. I was awoken in the middle of the night to open my phone and look at YouTube. There was Mariana Kingerly being interviewed because I needed help now. 24,000 women trying to reply to their responses of connecting with me, us, with Suzanne and Gail and Sharon. It was a lot to take on for one little old grandma. Mariana responded with a querulous sure. As a heartist, she was speaking and being interviewed. Well, that heartist continued on her journey with her beloved to the sacred masculine and divine in Europe and England, Glastonbury and Budapest. And during that time, we got to know each other as I followed them on their journey. And from there, I reached in and said, look, we do need somebody for admin. She said, oh, that's what I do. I'd love to do that. And now we are, 56,000, I believe, and we have aligned since with other grandmother council networks internationally. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I stand in awe of our beautiful energy and in awe of our potential at this beautiful moment in time where we are so needed. Thank you all for attending, and I look forward to hearing from each and every one of us as we move forward today and further on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mayana, and thank you, Kelly, and Sharon, and Gail, and all.
I would like us to now each just say our names, where we are in the world, and one or two sentences. Please keep it short so we can go all the way around the room. And I'd like to start with Grandmother Sharon.
Hi everyone, Sharon Raji Maynard. I'm in Whidbey Island, Washington, and I want to just hop on to what our dear sister Michelle just said, because when we were at 1,200, it was Suzanne and I, and then my daughter became very, very downward in a cancer journey, and I had to say to Suzanne, I can't do this right
That's
now. So, it to me, it's like, look what has happened. Sometimes we have to let go and step back, and that doesn't mean that there isn't somebody who's going to be right there. So thank you, sisters, for what you've done.
Thank you, Sharon. Gail, would you like to put your voice in?
My name is Grandmother Gail Crosmas. I live on the edge of the wilderness in Ontario, Canada, with the bears. We're in bear country and wolf country here. I joined the Grandmothers Council a couple of years ago. I just stumbled across it somehow, and it has helped me expand my reach. Right now, I teach a lot in Europe, and the Grandmothers Council have helped me expand my reach through the Americas. So last fall, through the Grandmothers Council, I met Lutz Clara of Northern Chile, who invited me to be a speaker in Mexico with 600 women in attendance. And then next year, we're going to do it again in Northern Chile, hoping for a couple of thousand women in attendance from around the world. So the Global Grandmothers had helped me reach out to people who didn't know I existed and brought me into their lives. And now it's a whole new journey. So I thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this beautiful circle.
Thank you, Gail. And I want to encourage each of you to put your links to your own work in the chat, please. And if you have not already saved the chat, make sure you click the three dots at the top and save it. Kalina.
Hello, everyone. So, the ones that are in my Global Grandmothers Sisters, hello, everyone. I'm Kalina. I'm the editor of a magazine, but I am Kinsuki Woman First, and I have been for about 20 years. And I have a Kalina Digital Media for any of you that have followed or seen my name before. And I am just here to support and be and grow, and I'm just so happy to be here. I live in Elmer, Ontario, and I am a grandmother of four, and I am, it's been a journey, learning, growing, and I'm amazed. I'm amazed at how much things have been changing, and just so happy to be here.
So Kalina is the one who publishes our magazine, the Global Grandmothers Magazine. If you haven't seen it, please go to our website and look at it, globalgrandmotherscouncil.org, and click on the magazine. And she's been publishing it for a year and a half. It's a fabulous document, and yeah, it's really wonderful. So at this point, now these are the ones of us that are in kind of in the leadership that have spoken already, that we are on the council. We'll talk about the council in a little bit, but now I just invite you to popcorn, and
Can I
if
say where
whoever
I'm from?
feels to
I
go
haven't
to
done
go
that.
next. Oh, you
Oh,
haven't gone yet, Kelly? Oh,
no, I just wanted to share where I'm from. I said a little blessing at the beginning when you introduced me, but I didn't introduce myself at that time. So I wanted to just mention where I'm from. I'm from Talent, Oregon, and Southern Oregon, near the California border. And I'm holding leadership in events that we're doing, and co-supporting our core as best I can with all of us, and contributor to our magazine. I'm also the West Coast ambassador for our organization, and some really beautiful things are happening here on the West Coast that are starting to take shape, that we'll be sharing about in the future as they unfold. And I have a ministry called Love, Wisdom, Power, Paths to Wholeness, and am starting the White Rose Sanctuary, which is a mother church and a training practice for young ministers and people who want to be prayer warrioresses and healers, and learn my legacy of wholeness work that I've been teaching and working with for 33 years. So I'm practicing that and starting that in the next month. Ashe. Blessings to you.
Yay.
okay, so now just popcorn as you'd like to say who you are, where you're from, and a couple of sentences about you.
If I could just jump in very quickly and let you all know that I'm in northern New South Wales. I live on the edge of the forest, and like Gail, my wildlife here are kangaroos and wallabies and beautiful bird life. So I've moved away from the city when I started with this with Sharon down in Melbourne, and have found my voice here in the forest. It's beautiful. Yeah, as outreach ambassador, I continue with Global Grandmothers, and I'm here if anyone has any ideas or suggestions locally or internationally. Thank you all so much.
Okay, now we're getting more people, so we're going to quickly speak your name into the circle and where you are, please. Just popcorn it, which means as you feel.
I will just pop in. I am Wiebe. I I am in the Council of Grandmothers Circle the Earth Denmark, and we create circle of grandmothers all over Denmark, and we have been working since 2011. And Gail, I think you know Susan Stanton, her and
Yeah.
Gail Whitlow started us up in 2011. I have spoken.
Hi, I'll jump in. My name is Laura George. I know some of you because some of our paths have crossed due to the primary project I'm working on, Founding Mothers Movement. Know Mayana because she almost moved to this little town, Independence, Virginia, where I'm headquartered at Oracle campus. And we're looking to work and totally align with Global Grandmothers Council. So I can speak more about that at another time, but really happy to be here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
My name is Trish Spence. I'm from, I live in Lancashire in England. I first heard about the 13 grandmothers in the early 2000s. I can't remember the exact time, and was so excited about the whole about it all. I don't think I was a grandmother at the time, but it just really sparked and touched something in my heart and soul. And I spoke about it nonstop for months to anyone who stood still long enough to hear. And since then, I've moved away. We were in Surrey at the time, moved up here. I don't belong to a group of grandmothers. There isn't that happening in my area that I know of. But I did some work. I'm a retired therapist. I did work on the 7 generations, on healing the 7 generations with clients, and I work with the water. We live by the sea, so I work with water on my own. It's my personal soul project, soul love.
Thank you.
And that's okay. Am Sutton from Massachusetts, Nipmuc territory up here in Shrewsbury. And I'm delighted to hear that you're working with water because that's my calling as well. And I first became aware of the 13 Indigenous grandmothers, just drawn to it. We have history, all of us, of being drawn to one another. And so I'm grateful for being a part of you and how it's expanding, and very grateful to the founders of Global Grandmothers, on the shoulders of Florida Mayo and the others. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pam.
Wonderful.
Next.
Hello, my name is Maria, and I'm originally from Greece. Although I've been living in Peru for the last year, and I used to hold the circles in the UK, women's circles. What has drawn me in this group, and the reason for joining today, is that the potentiality, there is such a beautiful potentiality, as Michelle said, of women coming together, and women's groups and women's and women's organizations. From my side, I do not have children, so I am not a mother or a grandmother in the biological sense. However, for quite a few years, I have been working with women on, and I have my puppy, needs to go out soon. But I have been working with women on rebirthing themselves. So literally holding space for that deep mystery of birth, going back into the time in utero, conception, and assisting as well a few souls on their way to the other side at the end of life. So for me, the mother archetype has been walking with me for a very long time. And part of where I am now and what I feel drawn to do is kind of bridge that spiritual aspect with the mundane. So share, work with people around different areas where, and challenge the norms, challenge, how we do things. My puppy, sorry. So yeah, specifically around business, project, community, organization, yeah, so this is what this is part of the road ahead, not the destination for me. So just joining is also a part of learning and what others do. I'm sorry, I really need to go and tend to my puppy.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah,
Yeah, hope
thank
there
you.
is a recording. I'll be
Yeah,
back in
they're
5 minutes.
recording. Okay. All right, next. And for those
Hey,
who just came, we're short who we are, where we are, and a couple of sentences about what we're doing.
everybody. I'm Arignani, Wendy. I'm in the Appalachia. I'm in Asheville, Boone. I am a new paradigm grandmother. My aunt and I work together on a lot of amazing projects. I'm with the Green Print for Gaia. I live in Asheville. Asheville is known as the city of light and frequency, so that's the path I walk. Bringing in the elders and youngers and the same roundtable to talk about the deeper things that are going on in the world of peace, healing, planetary stewardship, and the things that really matter to multi generations. I'm a grandmother of four beautiful, amazing starseed grandchildren. I'm so grateful. They live in Charleston. They're my driving force field. I say my grandchildren are driving me like a bus. Obviously, I'm from the South. I have a very Appalachian accent. But I'm grateful to be here. I've watched this place become what it is, and I've seen the ebbs and flows, and witnessed a lot of miracles. I believe in the power of positivity, the power of prayer, and when we come together, we can co-create our new earth. Also, I'm very supportive of the endeavors that Mayana carries on. People ask me to participate in things all the time. It really takes something special to get me involved. And so, Mayana and I are working on a project that is next to Art of Living as a 1,000-bed, 230-acre community built by Maharishi that we're envisioning for New Earth. And I just don't live in limited possibilities. I don't believe in it. I believe that, we're all, here now, especially to come together and hold space for the brightest light. And as I say that, I'm supposed to go paint a mandala at our drum circle in downtown Nashville for the kids. And I was going to reflect it on the Great Mother March, which is an event that happened at Laura's Community and Independence that happened. It launched in Asheville, and women are walking 500 miles to stand up for what's sacred, clean air, water, soil, and our children. And so I wanted to get on here and just introduce myself and say, I really support these movements. I'm trying to get more involved as a new paradigm grandmother. And, you know, I too have worked with the 13 Indigenous Grandmother Elder Council. It activated a drum that I carry. It's the Women's Powwow drum.
Mhm.
And I'm just very grateful because I feel even in the face of adversity, we're seeing the brightest light. People are waking up. And so just grateful to be here. And I'm sorry I won't be able to stay the whole time, but I'll be painting a mandala that it's going to have a child's version of the woman that is in the mandala of the Great Mother March, a child's version of a little girl. And then the
Beautiful.
children are going to draw in what's important to them for peace and planetary stewardship. So I'm really excited about that project.
Oh, that's
And so
wonderful, Arignani. Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful work. Incredible.
Thanks, sweetheart.
My name is Betty Jane Schlachter, and my friends call me BJ. So please do so if you wish. I'm from Troy, Michigan, and a grandmother, great grandmother, and I'm a contemplative, and I Christian. However, I'm very interested in the evolving Christianity to get away from the toxic messages that we've been inherited from the Bible. And I'm involved with other contemplative networks. And it's so important at this time to raise up everyone, men and women, that we are more than what any churches have said. Well, we are more than toxic beliefs.
Thank you, BJ. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you.
My name is Andy Renee Muzakia. I'm actually also in Asheville, North Carolina. And I am just at the beginning stages of creating a community network here where people can connect and also have a platform to offer support to each other. So I'm grateful to be here as well. It's my first time joining here, and it's nice to meet all of you.
Welcome, Renee.
Yeah.
Lovely to see you.
Thank
Beautiful.
you. Next. Kelly, you're muted. If you're talking, you're muted. Well, she's finding it. Taya's a
There we
dear
are.
friend.
Hi.
Hi. We
Hi.
haven't seen each other in so many years.
Good to see you again, Mayana.
Yeah.
My name is Taya Hollett. I live on the west coast of Canada in Gibsons, BC, which is a few minutes from Vancouver, but quiet and beautiful. And I'm basically looking at the ocean right now. To fast forward, for 20 years now channeling Quetzalcoatl, and we wrote a book together about the water and using water as a catalyst to unite the people around the world and create the new earth. And it's beautiful, and I'm maybe a master saboteur about that. So getting a network and support is really important to me right now to move forward in that direction. And Quetzalcoatl's message is all about love and beauty and the power of water to make us immortal.
Yes. Thank you, Taya.
We're about to gather the waters here in Southern Oregon for our annual blessing ceremony on Mount Ashland tomorrow. And I just want to mention one more quick thing. I'm sitting at the foot of Taiawaiwi Peak, which is where Grandma Agnes Baker Pilgrim lived. In this valley, she and the local tribal people of Takelma Nation, the Siletz National Federation of Tribes, was here, and we still honor her. Grandma passed, about 4 years ago, and she is well remembered by all the water sisters here. We meet at the Rogue River, and And there are plaques that have been put up commemorating her vision of a dragonfly bridge, and her dreams and her tribal visions are all on these beautiful plaques that are right at the Rogue River on Upper River Road and Gold Hill. So we go there often and pray and sing to the waters here. And there's a group of women here who gather for the water. And we're meeting tomorrow on the mountain for our annual blessing ceremony for spring. So I'll be praying for all of us and all of you at that ceremony.
Thanks, Kelly. Danielle is next.
Hi, my name is Danielle Claire. I'm been all over the States, but I have been sort of stuck down in southern New Mexico, basically right on Holloman Air Force Base, where they blew up the atomic bombs. I do really high level alchemy work with the men and sound, and because of all of that, and just because we have to learn on our own, especially in the nature probably of the sexes, that nobody's really been able to come out and explicitly tell me anything. I've had to learn things on my own and be guided. And so I think I'm doing all right. It's been a couple of years of some really hard depression. I've had military attacks on me, on my neurological system and things. And I'm trying to come through, and I created this amazing business last year. It came through me. Peacemaker Arts I've had forever, but Peacemaker Finance, and it's the women-owned non-for-profit that can literally come in and change the whole world and bring everything back to community structure. So I'm on another cycle of just reaching back out for that. I'm down here right pushing things back, standing in the face of the bad Republicans and I'm just showing up and doing it by myself, and it's lots of channeling and it's lots of stuff, and I trust my men a lot and everything is working out, but it's been really hard. So
we are so glad you're here. We are so glad you're here, and
So
we
honored.
just support and love and nurture you, and are looking forward to conversations how we can work together and support one
Stream
another.
that energy.
I'm
Stream
really
that energy to you, that healing. Yeah, Danielle, alchemy. It's what you need, the love. Beautiful, beautiful woman, strong,
Thank you.
guided, holding space. Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm doing it, but I need all you guys too.
Yeah.
And ladies and grandmothers. And
We're here. We're here.
And it's all happening together. It is.
Yeah.
It's all so real, and it's all completely happening. There's a lot of really strong.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me be part of this. I don't know
how
how
it works. That's how we work. Yeah.
Hi. May I speak now?
Yes, Shalimar, please.
Hi, I'm Shalimar. I'm on Vancouver Island, also on the ocean. And as Danielle, last night at 4 a.m., I had a breakthrough in the middle of the night, realizing that I'm holding space for many years alone. And when I discovered this on Facebook, I was drawn like a flea to a flame. I just have to be here. This is the support that I have been looking for. And for you, Danielle, I believe the same is true for you. We just need people that are witnessing and recognizing us, don't we? And are there with us, even though we have a solo trajectory. Our destiny, it may be solo. For all of us, it is solo. So I'm a health guide, a spirit guide, and I've had a spa and a clinic, and I've done all kinds of things. I'm 78, and I've been all over the world. And for some reason, I have chosen a very extreme life. I've been pulled from death numerous times by unseen hands, many, many things, witnessed physical shifts and healings instantly in my body. I've survived this, survived that, traveled here, traveled there, to top of Tibetan Himalayas and all kinds of places on earth. And when I was 22, I got married in Japan to a Canadian boy and traveled for 2.5 years overland and ended up I did all kinds of crazy things with no money and so on. So I have just written, I believe in sovereignty. And this is the most important thing to me because I feel so good and yet imparting that to other people. So I've created a series of sovereign reclamation videos. They're just hot off the press. I'm just doing them now. And
Well,
I've written a book that took 10 years and is called A Guide for the Times. And I'm launching all of this right now at my site. Probably in the next couple of weeks, I'll be finished. And because this has been such a solo journey, discovering this grandmother's circle that's global, I thought this is my home. And I'm actually looking for some support around this right now to complete. I have been a pensioner for years. I used to make millions. I decided to retire, and none of my investments panned out. And I've been just living on little bits and pieces. And then I decided to launch to help humanity and so on. So yeah, I would like to speak to anybody who might be interested in being an angel. It's very little bit of money to bring me to close, but anyway, I'll just put that out. And I'm just delighted to discover this, and I am all over service. I want to help humanity come to realize that there is no mistake that you're on the planet right now. Just none. You have a destiny, and understanding what your destiny is my journey to help people understand that. And I'm just really grateful to be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you for this circle that's been going on, as I understand it, for eons. It feels like the grandmother's gathering, and
Yeah,
this
it
is
has.
my day one.
Beautiful.
well,
Welcome into the
welcome, Shelley.
fray.
Yeah.
Welcome into the fray. Absolutely beautiful.
I would
Thank you
love
so
to connect
much.
with you too. I have two masters in English, and I'm a writer as well. So
Should we hook up then
Great.
somehow in the
yeah,
chat
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then that?
We
Okay.
will,
Yeah.
I will outreach. I will outreach and we will reconvene with a power
Okay.
discussion on potential international global healing through the verbiage and abilities that we've learned and seizing this moment that we elected to be here and conjoin one with another through all the eons, as Mayana said earlier, each of the molecules that brought us here, every word and intonation it's all relevant. Thank you, Shalimar and Danielle.
Everyone.
Thank you. We have
Ayana,
two,
we
we
have to
have
move
two,
on.
yes, we have two more to introduce, Regina
Yeah.
and Satyana. So Regina, are you first and then Satyana?
Hello. It's been such I came here late, didn't know where I was supposed to be, but glad I got to join and hear your stories. So far, it's been a joy. Thank you for sharing. Um, so I'm in Massachusetts and had a really interesting road to recovery from something that has been quite a journey. And I've been really grateful for the grandmothers, the Global Grandmother Council Network, the grandmothers who I've met. I felt like, to be honest, I came through this beautiful journey that was so difficult, emerging in a healing space. And it's like being connected with the grandmothers was incubating for my heart song to come forth. And it's really been a joy. And it's been a tremendous gift to me. And I just want to just say here and now how grateful I am for all of you.
We're grateful for
Thank
you
you,
too,
Regina.
Regina,
I'm
Queen,
so glad.
beautiful soul.
Yeah. And Satyana, welcome, honey. Dear.
Hello, hello. So sorry to be late to meet
Hey.
you, but I am just thrilled to be here. And actually, we just I feel like I'm giving birth today because we just finished the cover for, I don't know if you can see it, the cover
Yes.
for our new game, Chérie. So I presented it last time we were together. But this is the cover, and on May 5th, I'm sending it to Hay House to hope to win the contest and be published, so that this game, which is about questions to ask oneself before having a child, it was inspired by my little boy who passed in 2008. He would be 21 this year. And it came really strong that I had to do everything I could to get it published this year, to send it wider than what it has been here in France lately. And so that's what I'm up to. And I love any support I can have, and I love to support you in any way that I can. I was saying I was so happy. I came in when you were talking about the water, and how water is so precious to me. And I got blessed in when I still lived in Laguna Beach to do a ceremony on the beach with Dr. Emoto, so we could shut down the nuclear plant that was not doing well in. And we did it. They shut it down. So I mean, I don't know what your feelings are about that, but we didn't want it there. It was not a good thing for our community. And so it was before he passed, and it was so yes, the water, and I work with the water all the time, and I so thank you. You're just so beautiful, and I'm sorry I missed the other introductions, but I'll watch the replay.
And Satiana, you're in France, correct?
Yes, I'm in France.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Whereabouts in France, can I ask, Satiana?
So I was born in Cannes, in the very south of
Yeah,
France.
yeah.
I left when I was young. I came to California, and I was there, I mean, New York first and then California, and I was there for 33 years. And 10 years ago, I went back to France, to my home, but I'm not in Cannes now. I am, if you take Cannes and you make a triangle between Avignon and you go up, I'm there in 1,000 feet high, no, 1,000 meter high, in lavender fields and oak trees and pine trees. And yeah.
C'est en Provence?
Wonderful.
Oui, oui, dans le Luberon, juste avant la Drôme provençale.
Superbe. On va parler.
Qui c'est
Thank
qui
you. We will talk. Beautiful.
Who said that?
Okay. That was Michelle.
Michelle, okay. Hi, Michelle.
Hi,
Okay.
Satiana. Bienvenue.
Merci, merci.
Okay, so
And-
we're going to move forward. Kelly, can you help Taya in the chat while I go over our first agenda item? So we are the Global Grandmothers Council Network, and this is how it began. And this is, it just came to me, and I'm going to present this to you all. I just saw, wow, if we put one space between grand and mother, we could expand our reach to a whole new generation. And it doesn't take away anything from being a grandmother, but the Global Grandmother Council Network might feel more inclusive to the women who are like, but I'm not a grandmother. I don't feel like this is what I can do. So I would just love to hear some comments about that. It just came as that, I wrote it down. That even a small shift of one space could
Yes.
open the door for more women to feel included.
Well put, beautifully inspired. And on the tail of Satiana's speech just now and her chérie, it's absolutely dovetailed because her boy is 21 in spirit now, also acknowledged in that space. It's a beautiful moment. It's a beautiful moment. I am absolutely loving that extra space of grace and space between grand and mother. It's beautiful, Mariana. But that's just me. Sharon, others, please.
Yeah, I want to hear what Sharon would have to say and others.
I think I'd like to hear a little bit more about what I don't understand the concept yet. I'm sorry.
So if you take the word grandmother and put a space between grand and mother, then it's still with grandmothers, that it's more inclusive to all mothers and all women. We are still grandmothers, and grandmothers are mothers first. And I don't know, it just came as I was meditating the other day that it might be something to consider.
It becomes a noun rather than a one-word name, because grand describes mother, as
Yes.
in descriptive, Sharon.
Yeah, I coming from that place of when Suzanne and I got together, her concept came from grandmothers from Brooke Medicine Eagle. What she'd been following her teachings, and Brooke was saying grandmothers need to gather. For me, I was coming from a different perspective about women, totally women, whatever they were, whether they were mothers or grandmothers or sisters or aunties,
That's
it
right. I
didn't
remember
matter.
that. I
Yeah, and
remember.
so for me, that whole concept, if grandmothers together leaves people out, feels like they can't be apart, that was never either of our intentions. I think I could say that for Suzanne too. It was never my
That's
intention
true.
either. And it was never my intention that we had to be grandmothers before we had the wisdom and the inspiration and the vision that can change the world for our children and grandchildren. So whatever would further that opening up, I would totally be in favor of, Mayana.
Thank you, Sharon.
Beautiful.
Anyone
That's it.
else?
I love that idea because I've mentioned a couple of times the Ggcn to others here nearby, and a couple of people have said, "I'm not a grandmother," and I'm like, "Well, I bet you have the wisdom." So it instantly was like, "Oh, not for me," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Thank you. Satiana, you have your hand raised.
Yes, I would love to. When you said that, for me, what it did, you know how they say that in between everything there's space,
Mm-hmm.
like the space is like the living divine energy that's
Mm-hmm.
connecting all of it, right? So for
Exactly.
me, that's what it did. It felt like yeah, it felt like that invisible energy that
Mm.
connects us all, that just
So that's you.
suddenly it made it like so much more powerful. I don't know, something happened when you did that. I really felt it strong. I think it's really great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maria, Mare.
I do like the pause and the space between the two words, and also just throwing it out there. How do you feel about great mothers instead of grandmothers? It might stretch a little bit outside the current scope of grandmothering, but to me it feels even more inclusive because it is almost like an invitation for the great mother lines that stand behind us, that we're becoming for the next generations, regardless whether biologically we have children or grandchildren.
Maria, I
Thank
love
you.
that because Mayana, remember in the dream, it was my great grandmothers that appeared to say, you must reach out and take the world uh, further through with wisdom of grandmothers. So great grandmothers actually honoring our lineages. And it's not only mothers per se, it's actually women with fur or that look after trees, that nurture. It's the divine feminine acknowledgement, the mother instinct in the woman. So I love that, Maria. I love the great grandmothers. But let's see what the consensus is on that now.
Helena,
Expanding.
Helena, you've raised your hand next. We can't hear you. You're not muted, but we can't hear you. No, still don't hear you. Well, while you're figuring that out, Kelly, why don't you speak?
Oh, when you first said that to me, I had the same experience that Satiana was talking about, just feeling really a positive wave. I feel like it expands and opens the perception of us for more women. I also like the idea of the word great. To me, working with elementals and dragons, um, the word great holds a symbolism of something anciently held. So when you mentioned the mother lines, that's true too. I really identify with both of those thoughts. But I feel like there's definitely a need every time, occasionally when I've mentioned the grandmother organization to other women who are even my age, if they're not grandmothers, they like, or they don't feel like they're grandmothers. Even one of them was a grandmother and she questioned whether she should come because of our name. And I thought that was puzzling. So I do think that we need to find a way to say that we're here for women in a more
Correct.
genetic, a more, sorry, the word genetic, generic and open manner so that it's more far reaching and inclusive. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for, inclusive.
But stay the focus, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, can you speak now, Kalina? Can we hear you now? No, we still don't hear you. Taya? She's still working on that. So Taya.
Yeah, I was going to say I like great grandmothers, but I'm kind of getting to the point of maybe it's great grand earth mothers or somehow something that, yeah, involves our wisdom a little more. I mean, great and grand obviously does, but putting it out there that, yeah, you're an earth mother, whether you're a mother or not, right?
Is
So sort of
is that
expand it somehow. I'm not sure. I'm just speaking out loud. So yeah,
yeah?
putting it out there.
Thank
Is
you.
global inclusive? Perhaps would the word global encompass that? Perhaps in some way, global. I'm not sure. Just
I don't,
putting that out
well,
there. Ponder.
yeah, we'll see.
I like the
Regina,
three G's.
Me too.
Regina, you have something? You're muted. Okay, Satyana, you want to speak while she's
I
finding
just
her?
got excited when I heard the lady speak before because it made me think when I started the Green Valentine's Festival, which was, the Valentine's Day is
Mm,
it's a couple's holiday, but I
mm,
had the inspiration to start Valentine's for Mother Earth.
mm.
And so I like the idea of us being children of the earth and mothers or guardians of the earth or all that. So that, yeah, that made me feel good.
What about Earth Mothers?
Then it's a change
I
of
love
complete. I think it's completely. We need
Yeah,
the lineage. We definitely need the lineage
yeah.
to honor
Laura
the
has her
line of the
hand.
13.
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
I'd love to jump in here
Yeah.
because I'm a member of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle, and I was asked to convene the women. This was after the reversal of Roe v. Wade. And
Mhm.
no less than Rianne Eisler is in this group, right? I mean, these are system scientists, these are anthropologists, these are women who not only are at the top of their game, but have analyzed the world um, using the full spectrum model that both Mayana and I are very fond of using because it encompasses everything that a civilized society should encompass, the Barbara Marx Hubbard wheel. And after 9 months of gestating and women pitching projects and trying to decide how best to use our time and talent and discussing what we're all discussing right now, the brand, we came up with Founding Mothers Movement. And obviously, it's a play on the founding fathers. But the point is that the founding fathers of every nation have gotten us to this polycrisis. And
Totally.
it was the brand that we selected.
Brilliant.
It's not, by the way, another nonprofit. That is the last thing we need is another nonprofit. In fact, the bad guys love when we sit in our silos and, have virtual events, and they couldn't care less. Um, so the reason we went with Founding Mothers is because A, it is a double entendre, but B, our point is that we're founding mothers of a new world.
Yeah.
And no, you don't have to be a mother, um, you know, in the classical sense to be a founding mother of the new world. So the goal with Founding Mothers is to gather all the women's groups, and not just the women's groups, but we looked at the first International Congress of Women, which convened in 1878 in response to Julia Ward Howe's Mother's Day proclamation. And we looked at their incredible success. They were active from the late 1800s to the early 1900s, and then they just sort of disbanded because they had accomplished their primary goal of getting women's suffrage in America and overseas in Europe. They also turned their attention to peace building, and they were the largest peace building force on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And so we looked at how they did it. And the way they did it was they got all the women's groups to join. Well, not all, but you know what I'm saying. They got women's groups to join. Then they looked at the peace groups, and they got peace groups to join. And then back then, there were only churches. So they got churches to join. So we also are following their strategic template by doing the first category, women's and children's groups. Second category is peace and democracy. Now that democracy is under attack. The third category would still be churches, but also spiritual groups. And then we added environmentalism, which wasn't a thing 100 years ago. So our fourth category of partners are environmental groups and indigenous groups. And the goal is to have the new Global Women's Congress be just as powerful as the first one. They could get appointments with presidents. They could speak at the House of Lords in England. Their influence was immense, and they were able, therefore, to influence policy. So our goals are twofold: universal rights for all women, regardless of where you live, and lasting peace. And so I'm primarily here because I know this group holds the exact same vision for the future, which is completely achievable. And I would just encourage everybody to check out Founding Mothers Movement, which again is not another nonprofit. It's a coalition. It's a meta-unity coalition.
Thank you, Laura. That's amazing. Also,
Laura.
I've heard from the Country Women's Association in England. That too was something that fell away after the suffragette movement, and it's been going. It was aligned with the UN, and they have done some things in the 70s with contraception and things in Africa and India. But I'm reaching out to them for further connection to see what we can do with them as well. This is one. Yeah.
Helena, does your speaking work now?
I'm on my laptop now, so is this better?
Yes, that works.
I don't understand what's going on, but no, I agree that we need to open up the platform, because myself, I've started the Sassy and Sacred, and I believe that there's a lot of us women that need a louder voice, and whatever we can, like as a bohemian, as a hippie, as a woman that is a purple sheep, there's so many of us that are not, or that we're not grandmothers. And even the younger people, I've met younger people, and then my neighbors next door, I was talking to them and telling them about our global grandmothers. And I was at a meeting last night and sharing our global grandmothers and what we're doing. And some of them were like, well, we're not grandmothers. And I said, well, I've got another magazine for you, but we need to open up for our global grandmothers. And great or grand, I don't have a preference. I know there'd be some academic, again, we would have to change some things, right? With the our domain and whatever. But I do believe that to expand and to open up for even our male counterparts, right, that we need to have somebody in there, right?
Yeah. So that's our next subject. So as far as our branding and what we've laid out so far, we have a domain that has been getting noticed and that is aware. People know the Global Grandmothers Council Network is known globally now. We have really put it out, and we've branded with our Ggcn. I felt like just a little space. I love and I went through all those thoughts, but just a little space wouldn't change our domain. It wouldn't change much. It would still keep us who we are, but expand us, was my thought.
Thank you, Mariana.
So with that change, I think it's also really important to know graphically and just marketing wise for us to keep the name consistent. is a real, we do not want to change that very much
No,
because
we want to keep that energy.
we're building and reaching, and going great, grand, and all of that is way too
Yeah.
long,
Yeah.
especially for a domain name or a title for our organization.
Love
And
it.
but I think your idea, Mayana, is very simply put and works great and is a
It
good
does.
idea.
Yeah.
We can't
Sharon?
put spaces, well, we can put spaces in words when you're setting up a domain. You know, there's like no space when you're typing in a name. So that part will be interesting because the actual
The
typing in of
domain wouldn't change. Yeah, the
yes,
domain
it would be it would be the same. But whenever we put it out in title in you know whatever we're putting information out about, it could be there, and then it
Yeah,
would be something we could share about to
yeah.
make it more inclusive.
Thank
It's
you.
true.
Sharon?
It's true.
You Sharon, you're muted. There you go.
Um, I really get what you're saying with it, was just adding a space. Because the name's been there for a long, long time. The thing that
Right.
I'm thinking about is taking back the word mother. And what does that mean to this organization? It means women who are creating
Mm-hmm.
something. I mean, because we're not just creating children of flesh and blood. We're creating projects, we're creating systems, we're creating cultures. And so I would suggest that the space sounds great to me. I wouldn't use the word Congress. That's not what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think that taking the word mother and say this is what we mean by that, all women birth creativity. They birth their ideas, and some ideas are babies and some are projects. So I think the space is great, and I would really love to have the word mother designated in our definition. That it is about women who birth, who bring into the world something that is beautiful and beneficial, and it's not just children.
I like
The
that. Thank you,
nurturing.
Sharon. Yeah. Satiana, you have something again?
Yes, I just wanted to say, because you have spoken many times about the age of the woman and whether they were mothers or grandmothers really with a child. And it made me think of the grandmothers with Sharon, the Net of Light, which is in Laguna Beach, which I have,
Mm-hmm.
I love. And she puts that shawl around a woman, but it doesn't matter what age or
Mm-hmm.
all of that. So I think we can, yeah, grandmothers can include everyone too. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. BJ.
When I have seen other organizations' logos and things, there's many times a tagline after it explaining a little bit about it, and maybe we could keep the grandmothers. And I don't know totally what the tagline could be, but it could be something like creating bridges to all, or something about creating
Beautiful.
peace for all. it, it, I don't know how right now to say it, but I do think a
About nurturing.
tagline could
BJ,
be
what about the
inclusive.
word nurturing?
Beautiful. Nurturing is good.
Nurturing,
Yes.
because really that's what women are doing on the planet.
Yeah.
We're nurturing Earth back
Creating
into
nurturing.
her, after
Yes.
millennia of slumber. We're nurturing her back into her awareness and awakeness, one by
I
one.
create beautiful, beautiful
Maria?
Shalimar.
Maria, you have something?
Yeah, thank you. So basically, on the technical side, there is a way to actually have the new domain, and then when people use the existing domain to go straight to the new. Okay.
Sure, we know how to
So
do
there
that.
is a yeah,
I know
there
how
is a
to.
way to there is a way to work
It's,
it out.
I
So
think
But it
just
takes money to
putting
buy a new domain.
this is not.
Depends. I think depends on what the final what the final decision is. Some of them can actually be quite cheap.
Yeah, they can be cheap,
However,
but they're still money, and it's all still
yeah.
coming out of my pocket. So
Point taken.
buy a new
Okay,
domain, right?
No, we're
fair enough.
leaving. We're happy. I think
I'm gonna leave it
we're
there.
kidding them. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it
Beautiful.
there. There is
Yeah.
another point I wanted also to share. I also was thinking about the tagline, but before we actually agree on the tagline, one of the things that potentially could assist the conversation is having a little bit more clarity about the activities of the group. So just listening to Laura as well, where she was talking about the specific areas, it was very clear for me. So again, for the Global Grandmothers Council, it's about, okay, I know there is already a mission statement. I know there is a lot of activity and work done and a lot of working together, supporting organizations, other organizations, or the appetite to work with other organizations. And it is coming back to the center of what the Global Grandmothers stand for, want to do in the next year, 5, 10, 50 years ahead. So I think that's where, that
It's
will
the
be a very
nurturing.
interesting. Exactly. And
It's the
that's,
nurturing of all facets, of every cell, of all beings. That is it.
yeah,
It's the nurturing.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's was Shalimar's suggestion as well, I think. Yeah. And
yeah.
that, as we know, that will probably be tabled again as well for some insight.
And will be interesting to translate it into what that looks like when we're talking about Facebook community engagement and what
Of course.
translates and everything.
T-shirts,
Yeah.
caps. Beautiful,
I
Maria.
think there's a lot to go on, but if we're talking about the
Yeah.
name right now, that's probably where we're at. Is
Enough.
keeping on
Yeah.
that on our table. What's the name?
Thank you, Sharon.
But it's like looking at the baby, knowing the baby is boy, the baby is Capricorn, or or
It'll
is a
happen.
girl, and
Just
Well,
breathe.
for right now,
Yeah.
we're I'd love to just see hands about a space in the name. Just simply that. If anyone willing for a space in the name, just raise your hand. I think that looks pretty good. Not you, Pamela. You don't do you?
No, I'm kind of stuck on the Hopis. When the grandmothers. So I'm kind of stuck there. Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you.
But then there's
But it's
another.
just a breath. It's the same combination of word, same energy in there.
And the Chinese said, when women wake, mountains will move. So it's been said many different ways, but it's always included women who create and birth not just children, but ideas, cultures, and the world. An idea.
Nurture.
Do you want to speak, Gail, or are you just raising your hand in a yes?
Oh, unmute, darling. We can't hear you.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it was still up there. Sorry.
It's okay.
I would like to just mention something.
Yes.
Many years ago, I was a filmmaker and I was up in Bella Bella on the West Coast here filming their ceremonies for, anyway. And I met a woman who was Cree and Blackfoot and Buddhist and statuesque with high cheekbones and long gray braids. And her name was Lorraine Fox Davis from Crestone, Colorado. And we became enmeshed in a way, and she invited me to a sweat lodge, which my car kept breaking down and I couldn't get down there. I got as far as Tacoma, Vancouver, and I had to come home. And so she came up here and did a sweat lodge on one of the islands off the coast of Canada, Gabriola, and I was in charge of putting this together. And the one thing that I remember that she told us is she was invited into a very important sweat with Red Cloud, another gentleman, another woman, and her, the top indigenous energies on Turtle Island. And information came through from the Pleiades, and it was this, that the women are the hearts and the minds of the changes that are shaping our earth. And the men are the hands. And that for us to do, no, not anymore. Being and holding our space is the most important thing for us to be
and to generate. Perfect.
Changes.
Yeah. Man is a muscle.
Yeah.
We are the creative. Yeah. Beautiful.
We design, we create the blueprint, and they bring the resources to make it happen.
Yeah.
So really, they are the nurturers. They bring the energy to make projects that expand the heart to happen. But we design.
Perfect
so we
segue.
talk about that.
Perfect segue. Mariana?
Kelly has her hand up.
No, I just wanted to make one more quick comment here, like we all are. There's also a very clear understanding that the feminine brain is very different from the male brain. And I believe a big part of this, of what we're speaking and what was spoken by this native elder in your circle, and is what is being spoken by what Sharon said, is that the feminine brain has an impact on the room. And when we are at the table, it makes a difference. And I think that's a big part of what's needing to happen globally for our world, is that women aren't at the table. They're not at the war table discussion. It's
well,
about
to change.
It's a big part of what's up ahead for us is for women to be at the table, at the discussion with the decision makers, who are a lot of them men. And women being in the room and even being present is enough to make a difference, to have a change in the way people make decisions, especially men. So that's important.
Thank you, Kelly. That's beautiful. Mariana, we were going to discuss something else, weren't we, about the Facebook page, about men?
I have an agenda, and we're spending a long time on just space.
Is this a segue? Is this a segue now because we've accepted space? Shall we segue to the men because we're talking about them?
Yeah. So
Thank you.
One of our other things to talk about, and so I put a poll in the group about, do we want to go public so we can share, or could be private? And there's a whole third of us in the group that want to stay private. And with that kind of numbers, there's no way we're going to change that. But we do have the hardest group that is already men and women that we could use more and share some of the posts into and have that public space that everyone can participate in. The challenge is we would need an admin and moderators for that group. We don't have those. We have moderators and admins for Global Grandmothers group, but we don't have for the hardest group. And I can't take that on myself. I created the group, but just can't do that.
Not possible.
So that seems to be the best way that in our discussions we've come up with how to honor that men have voices too, and they're important and they're vital, and our working together is important, because it's when the masculine and feminine are in harmony together
Correct.
that things are
sparks fly, things happen.
And the new earth is built.
Exactly.
We need the men. We need them. And women need a space for just women also. So, yeah, so let's chat a little bit about the hardest group. Yeah, we could we could create it doesn't seem to be worthwhile to me to create a whole nother group that when we
Yeah.
already have groups. So Sharon, please.
I think that keeping this private is probably the way to go, which is fine, and opening out the awareness of the hardest group as a co-group is perfect because the men also need their place. That's not our job to do, but we already have a co-group called hardest, and right now we have evidently not evolved to the place, either through awareness or whatever, to have moderators to activate that group in a way that it can be activated. So knowing about it may be the first step. So I think that what we're doing, women need their group. Because when men are at the table, things change too.
Yeah.
So we need our group, and I think having it private is really still very important. Things we want to share can go into the hardest group, and when there is moderators, and we're in evolutionary process here.
Good. Yeah.
Good.
I have to say, I'm a little bit interested in that. And my straight up sacred geometry thing is to balance the masculine and the feminine in an unconventional way. My finger's a god. So I'm just getting going. I would love to network that with my Peacemaker Arts, which I have a Peacemaker Finance website, but I don't have the Peacemaker Arts. But it's going to be, it's artists, performers, healers, all of that as a hub. So
Peace Productions, Mayana. Peace Productions and Artists.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
And
is beautiful, Danielle.
Danielle, put your contact and your information in the chat for us so we can.
Please.
This is phenomenal. And this would be a good release valve for you, Danielle. You've been carrying a lot. And we are
I
here
don't know what I'm
now.
supposed to say to anybody, you know, and I got all this military stuff too. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for you to talk to me, and
we can read between the lines. We feel between the lines. We nurture between the lines, and we're with you, behind you. We got your back already.
So,
you know that.
Thank you.
Wow.
So I just want to honor our Facebook moderators in this moment. That Bryn Griffin, Carol Schaefer, who just broke her leg and is in rehab. And we've had a couple of others step up recently, and I'm just so grateful. It's really, really a joy to have the service for that, and I appreciate how you all are doing it together. You know, if there's a question, everybody asks, "Hey, what about this one?" or "What about this one?" And if there's still a question, they just report it to admin, and I look at it and make a decision myself. So it's flowing really well, and
it's
with our 55,000 women, it's a big job.
Yes, it is a big job. Mayana, remember when it was 38 and it was you and me,
Yeah.
it was 24 and just me and Sharon and Suzanne. So
Yeah.
phenomenal. And we're going to have to look at it's going up over 100, you know, within the next year or so, because everyone wants to speak and merge and connect because we are open to nourishing all facets. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to share my screen here. See, can you all see this? The spheres?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what we have as our, Laura was talking about Barbara Marx Hubbard's 12 around one principle. She uses an 11 around one for her work. But this is what came through for the Global Grandmothers Council Network as areas that need attention. And so I just wanted to share with you that this pattern that we're using, it was too many, 12 were too many for the few of us that are working. So we put it in 3 categories. There's healing with Mother Nature Earth, where Susan Meeker Lowry is carrying in there. Guidance, where Grandmother Gail and Joan Enoch have been in that place, and they've been a great help to me personally, and I'm very grateful for that in this process. And then health. So the healing, those are the healing spheres. Then there's Learn, which is the library that's recording all of the wisdom, the voices of wisdom, saving them, categorizing them. The magazine is part of our library, but media is where Kalina is. But our library is all of our videos and our texts and everything. The academy is where people will learn, and then how we reach children. So those are the learning spheres. Organizing them, we have the admin marketplaces, selling and fundraising, and grandma care. There needs to be a way to organize our care for each other, because like with Carol,
Yeah.
with what's happened to her, how can we have a group to care for one another?
Mhm.
And then sharing is our outreach, our media, and our events.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to put this into the visual so you could see it,
Beautifully done. Beautiful.
where our heart is. And in the center is our core values that Sharon took a long process to really listen to our members and find out what values we have. And those values and the Values Council holds the core. So
fabulous.
Yeah. Thank you. So there are seats open. There is work to be done. And what we were just talking about doing, if we're a grandmother's council, we have to also do. And it's important that we have enough people step up and in. And most of the work that we do is just a few of us. So there, with 55,000 women in the group, we keep looking for more to step up and more to say, hey, I can step up and I can step in. And together we can create.
Manifest.
We also need volunteers. We're also in a position right now where we need volunteers to help, and in particular with tech. We have an immediate need for helping us to reseat ourselves in a platform. When we originally set up the Grandmother's Garden, we were doing it with tech support with Robin Davis, who is on a healing from cancer journey herself now. And Mayana is, we're resetting up. So we need a tech person who can help us, in particular with the platform Go High Level. And we are looking for that kind of support. And there's a number of other opportunities too for our magazine. We are looking for volunteers to help Kalina with various roles in staying in communication with the contributors of the magazine, possibly helping her with proof and maybe some other things that Kalina would like to name or spell out. But we need people to step up to support those of us who are in leadership roles already. And we haven't had enough people supporting each one of us who are doing things. So I think there's lots of ways other than just holding core council with our organization for people to be helping us in, and it might be less of a commitment but more helpful to us to have more volunteers who can step up and do projects with us.
I just want to say that, we just did this International Women's Day conference, and we were recognized globally because Global Grandmothers Council Network stepped in a big way. We brought, Kelly was there for the music for the whole event. We brought the women in
straight
community,
days.
women in community
And nights.
service. And nights. And we brought women in arts and culture.
Yeah.
We are the ones who found the speakers for those. They were mostly our grandmothers who spoke. And we really got some recognition, and some other groups have recognized us since then. And we've also joined with Laura and the Founding Mothers Movement and her Congress. And
several of us are actually on the Congress now.
Mm-hmm.
And the outreach has been phenomenal from that. But the outreach to continue to ripple out internationally, France, with and Europe, Africa, India, the Eastern Emirate states, all over the world, we need to have people in situ that are okay to spend some time and focus and
So
research.
yeah, so we have some things coming up. And one of them is the immediate that Kelly was speaking to about the website. I was able to migrate our platform from Robin's. She had hosted us and I just paid her. Well,
Yeah.
now we have our own platform, and it costs twice as much as it did to have her host it. And we don't have all the back end now that was on her website that was done. Now there's some APIs and some this and some that's that I know nothing about that we need technical support with. And I was able after 2 weeks of not having access to our back end, I was able to get access, connect it up, and send an email. Yesterday, I finally got an email sent out. So.
Oh, Mariana, you are amazing. Thank you. Your intention is so strong, holding that space between grand and mother, darling.
Yeah.
So
good. Then beyond that, there are two other things we want to just bring to the forefront that are emerging, and we need hands and hearts for these things. And one is we've made my dear friend Jane Kuva, Newbie Jane, is a musician and artist, and I just connected her with another dear friend in North Carolina, and that we are emerging with a Golden Age tour that will go to 7 to 12 sacred sites on the planet, plant a new peace pole that has technology that is scientifically proven to create a healing vortex and a pyramid energy. There will be holographic speakers that speak, "May there be peace on earth" in every language. There will be a device that randomly generates a coherent field as people walk into it and labyrinth around it. And it's just incredible. Sharon? Yeah.
I would suggest, may there be peace on earth, keeps peace from being on the earth. I've never, when you are speaking a truth, the truth has happened. You don't say, may there be peace, may I be healthy, someday I'll be out of lack. So just I would,
appreciate that.
yeah, I would be a whole different word.
I appreciate that. I worked with Starshine Academy in Phoenix, Arizona, and they are the only peace pole on the planet that says there is peace on earth instead of "may there be." And yes, when we make new poles, that's absolutely going to be in the conversation. And then there's one next that will be potentially, can't say too much about it, but we've been invited to head up a network, a global network with eco villages, and have the global grandmothers be all of the other networks are run by men, and they want to control the funds and they want to control everything that happens. And the Global Grandmothers Council Network is being invited to decide where the funding that comes through it goes.
We will supersede that with our energy and our life forces. Yeah, that's right. We will supersede that and overview it with our outreach and hearts. Yes, exactly. It's so exciting. So we all need all hands on decks, to you beautiful angels that have come in today. Let's get a rhythm going, and let's get our nourishing out there and continue with the vision. What else? Sorry.
Kelly, did I have something else in our conversation that I don't have on my list here. I was going to go through all the different groups in the chat. Let me first, in the very top of the chat, you'll find the link to the registration for next Wednesday, Earth Day. We're having a gathering of groups. This is not just women. This is Global Grandmothers inviting all groups to come. And each group will be able to share who they are. It's a 4-hour window on Zoom. We're not live streaming like we didn't this one. And so the link to pre-register is the very first comment. And then
go ahead.
I also want to share we have ways to advertise in Grandmother's Magazine. If you know any conscious businesses that would like to get the word out, we've been publishing now for a year and a half, and it's getting more and more favorable with people's reviews. They love it when they see it, and all of them are available. And we have advertising opportunities.
We do think, I do want to say one big important thing. So one of the biggest things that we're doing with a new platform that Mayana's just gotten us into and that we're trying to get a tech person on board to help us with is to create our subscription for our magazine, because it is a wonderful way for us to have a monetized product that would support our organization. And even if, it was low cost for people to get a subscription to our magazine, it would be a huge income maker for us. And I believe that's something we really got to get in place.
Well, it is.
And it is very important that we make that happen as soon as we can. So that's a big part of one of the things that we're doing with getting the tech support to get this new platform issue ironed out and get things in place so that we can set that subscription up. The other thing, go ahead. Did you want to say something?
It's just me. Yeah. I got excited when you were talking about that, Kelly. It sounded like Danielle's Peacemaker Finance thing that she was talking about.
There are links in here, aren't there? Thank you, Pamela. Exactly.
Yeah,
that
there's
might
stuff
be
I can
helpful,
definitely
Kelly.
cover the
Thank
merchant
you.
thing, but
Beautiful, Danielle. And two other speakers, I can't remember, was it Shalimar, mentioned books that are coming out, and a beautiful French Satan with the Chérie game. Maybe we could advertise and then get some, make an arrangement for a 3-month trajectory for those advertisements to go into the Global Grandmothers magazine to promote those books and the games, and certainly have Danielle assess and guide us and reassess where we can go and how we can do this.
We also
Thank
contributing articles and information for people to put in.
Correct.
One of our other goals has been well, I'll save this. I'll let Kalina speak first. Go ahead, Kalina.
And Satiana had her hand up.
Yes, Satiana.
I thank you, everybody. That was sweet, Michelle. Thank you. I was wondering just with the magazine, is it an online magazine?
Yes.
Yes, it's a 100% digital magazine at this time. We aren't in print yet, but I do think that's a future.
Of course.
Right. Alina?
Yes, so we have a lot of authors, we have entrepreneurs, and there's so much that we want to do, and we need a directory. And I know that the Founding Mothers has a wonderful directory.
Well, that's what I'm actually going to speak about.
So we need a directory. We need to be able to connect. There's so many grandmothers out there, and can you imagine what it's going to be like in another 20 years with grandmothers? Our generation of grandmothers, we have changed so much. I'm nothing like what my grandmother was, and I know none of you are like what your grandma. And we are so much stronger, bolder. Our voice is so much brighter and stronger. Like we've got so much, and we are powerful. This generation of grandmothers, we are so powerful, and we need to be like, I'm a purple sheep because I was a very conservative. I was born in a Mennonite family. I was born that I could not have a voice. My mother, still in her 80s, does not have her voice because of the way that we were raised. that's why I am Kinsuki woman, because we've been broken. We haven't been given the opportunity. And now, as a grandmother, I stand strong and bold and braver. And all of you I can see are too, right? And we may be the hippies. When I think about the purple sheep, I'm thinking of the rebels. I was a rebel. I was a woman. Was always, everything was a sin. And how many of us had to stand and now are stronger? And now we have children. I have a 13-year-old that is so much stronger, and her voice is so much, it's like we need to be. When I see her, it's like, where was I when I was 13, 14? I couldn't be like that, right? And we are so much stronger. And now we have to show them. They see me now and they're like, Grandma, I've changed a lot, even from just having this opportunity to be here in this circle with all of you. I'm just so proud of all of you. I'm so thankful and grateful for all of you, and where this is leading us all.
Very good.
Very
Very
true. Could I just jump in? I just had an update on the CWA. An email came through from a feminist journalist cousin who the UN was the designated International Women's Year of 1975, which is when they got some kudos. I now have a connection here with the daughter of the founder of the establishment of the Country Women's Association, which was actually visioned by men who were at the table, as Kelly reminded us, speaking about cakes and lamingtons, when in fact they were doing contraception, healing, and nurturing and education. So I'm going to pick up that tab as the outreach, and any other information for any other outreaches would be fantastic if you all could point me in that direction. Thank you. Just had to say.
Thank you. And I want to bring to the table the discussion about the directory and our prior plan. So one of the things that happened when I came into Global Grandmothers last year, or when I first entered, whenever that was, a year and a half, 2 years ago, there was a garden and a whole platform that was going to hold us. We were going to have our own chat, a whole private chat group, a membership. And we launched it, and there were problems with it. So we started ironing those out and decided some of it wasn't working. So we closed off some of it. And we know that we need a directory that brings all of our groups together. And we tried to start one, and it had a lot of technical problems. We had to keep rejoining. It was knocking people out. It was just not working. So we have been in the discussion and looking at, okay, what are we doing? So getting on a new platform is key. But we just met with another global grandmother who's very part of our network, especially Mayana, and I know her. Asha Deliverance here in Southern Oregon. She owns her own company. She's like a hippie grandmother. She's like 7 or 8 children. She's a global speaker, and she's part of our board with Peace Productions. She's very, very connected to the whole valley here where we live. And she and her research with eco villages and tribal people have been putting something together. And they are offering us an opportunity to table up with them and put Global Grandmothers directory together. So I'm meeting with them this weekend. And while we were here, I've had 3 talks with people who are setting up meetings with me for this. So I'm going to be meeting with people this Sunday, and I will report back to all of you in either our next gathering, or however we want to come back together, what this opportunity would look like. But it's a whole platform that would help people who are doing groups, who are grandmothers and are coming together to have a place to network and also create groups with each other to interact and create things that they could do together, which I think is really beautiful and important.
Absolutely.
And there might even be more to it than that, but I'm going to find out. And so I'm on the hot seat for trying to get that worked out.
I think we're all on the hot seat, Kelly. Yes.
Well, I'm meeting on the ground with them. That's all I mean.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful, and inspirational.
I want to say that Asha Deliverance is in our Tending Our Roots series. She
Oh, yeah.
presented herself as the 13th grandmother of the hippie tribe. So she is the grandmother and the great mother of the West Coast Festival circuit. And all of
Wow.
her children,
Beautiful. Yeah.
their
With
friends,
they're all
Asha
coming forward.
Deliverance,
Yeah.
uh, Asha Deliverance from Pacific Domes. And she has domes for sale and needs to sell some immediately. And she's having a 30% off sale. If anybody knows someone that wants a dome, they're really good price right now. She needs to sell some post COVID. It's not stepped back up.
I think I can put
Kalina,
Pacific Domes in the chat for everyone.
thanks. Kalina, did you have something to say?
No, I just want to say that maybe we need like with Robin, the program that we had and the webinar or the web designing that we're doing.
You went mute.
I know there's other programs that maybe are a little bit easier and friendlier for us to work with, right? Like I'm not sure exactly, Kelly, the one that you're working, but like even like if we created it on Square, what is that, Squarespace or Wix or something, then added it
We
to
do not do Squarespace.
No.
Wix.
Squarespace. GoDaddy is still a really good option. Their
Yeah.
plugins are good,
GoDaddy.
and
Yeah.
they've got
Well,
the
I've
best
used, yeah,
package. I
I've
don't
used,
use their merchant processing
So
either, but Square is getting very, very impersonal, and it's a
I think
robot.
that the
You know?
big important thing I want you all to know about is this directory would be a private platform situation for safety. Most social media platforms are challenged right now by criminal elements. So we have to be
To
very
say the
careful.
least.
Yes. So we are, I think that's another reason why staying private is a very good idea for us. The other thing is the platform that we're going to be meeting to talk about. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, that they are using or if they've built one. And so there's something very unique about it. I'm going to find out what that is, but it would definitely be um, important for it to be easy to use. And I think that's going to, especially with grandmothers. We found that with that
We
last,
saw that. Yeah.
when we were in that last attempt, one of the biggest challenges we had was trying to educate grandmothers to put their information up. And it was really hard. We actually needed volunteers to help grandmothers onboard their information or list a
It was hectic.
class and
Yeah.
so that's something I'll remember to bring up as a topic in the meetings. Thank you for
Thank you,
reminding me.
Kelly.
Laura, I'm just wondering, Laura, because she did show us the last time we got on here, she showed us her directory. I'm wondering what program they've got or what software they're using,
Oh no,
right?
but it's not visual, it's just text.
No.
It's not like here's an image of my store and what I'm doing. It's not a
No.
dynamic, interactive. I can't upload my content. You can't upload your content.
Okay.
It's
I
just
wasn't
a
sure if that
listing of the name.
And I think the one that I'm going to be meeting with them about will be one that's way more interactive and would be a true network for us to use, which is really our ideal, is to have a directory that creates a network for global grandmothers, whether you're an individual or a group, to be able to say who you are, what you do, what you offer, what you're playing with on, generating and creating with life here that's
Yeah,
supporting all of our visions together,
exactly.
how we can find each other when we need to or want to.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing, is to be able to go, oh, look, I can go to Germany right now and I can see who's in Germany doing this, or I can go to France, or I
Exactly.
can go
Exactly.
to wherever in Europe or England or over or Hawaii or Alaska or wherever us grandmothers are showing up in the directory.
Globally.
We
As
can have
globally.
a network of ways to find and know who's where, and it'll help us, especially
Exactly.
those of us who are wanting to organize by territory, because we have
That's
created
true.
4 pillars. And Mayana, you might mention what those are so people here know the 4 ambassador positions right now that we have, and what your intention for that was, and what we're holding for that, and what that's supposed to be doing. maybe mention that.
Let me before I go to the ambassadors, the network that we're talking about having created would be
Yes.
for not just women. It would be
Thank you.
to network all conscious work that's happening on the planet,
Thank
not
you.
just women's work. And so it's focused around the idea of eco villages and the new way of building community. So I think that's important. So Kalina and Satyana have their hands up.
No, I wanted to mention too at the back of my magazine. So we've talked about this before, Marianne, but so the director, there'd be like pictures of whoever's in the magazine, and then it'll lead to their website, their organization, their, as authors, their books and whatever. And I've been doing that on a small basis, but I do want to have a larger portion of the magazine so that we can do that too, right? So once we have the director, it is a really big job to get it all done. But once we have it, I think it's going to bring in a bigger audience too. And so I think this is something that we really need to work on, right? So
Exactly.
we need
Satyana?
Absolutely.
we
Which
need the
is
help.
we're diversifying a little. There's so many topics we can discuss here,
We
but I
need
think the main
advertising,
point is
right?
to was the grand thing to open to
Mhm.
see if we're going public or not, and also to restate that we do need some sort of an income to come in, and we need advertising. And if that is space can be, we can start that, then we can diversify and use artists, as Mayana was suggesting, and as a coordinated, anyone can speak forum for us to diversify further.
May
Satyana?
I ask a
Um,
question,
well,
please?
Satyana has her hand up
Oh,
first.
Okay, you can ask your question, Shalimar, if you want. It's okay. I can go
okay.
ahead.
May I ask what the mission for this Grandmothers Council is?
Yes, we are voices of wisdom during times of chaos, and our mission is to listen deeply to one another and preserve and share the wisdom with the world.
Beautiful. So, my offering is about to be published, the book, and also this video series of reclaiming your sovereignty. It's
Beautiful.
magical. It came pouring through me. Anyway, and I would like to offer that as a possible point of revenue share with me, with the magazine and so on. By selling it on there would benefit people because they would have an opportunity to recognize, gosh, I really do feel triggered decade after decade after decade from my trauma from my family. I really do
Thank
let
you.
tell me what to do. I really am tired of being tired. I don't feel recognized. I don't feel seen. Well, this series deals with all that. So if this is something that people want, we can share in the profits. It's all the same to me, and that can support the magazine because it is a good
That
work.
would be,
Yeah.
and forward it to the
Thank you.
library. That's beautiful. Thank you,
And
Shannon.
I would like to volunteer, but I can't do that until I've completed, and it's probably going to take me another month to completely finish with this, so it's set. And so after that, I would like to join forces with you guys and do what I
Thank
can
you.
for
Thank you
it.
so
Thank you.
much, Shannon.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Just reach
Welcome.
out
Thank
when
you.
you're ready. Yeah, just reach
We're
out when
here.
you're ready. We're here.
I hope
Satyana.
you're okay with the title of the book because although it's in big letters, a guide for the times, the first words are WTF is going on? Question mark, question mark, question
Love it.
Like,
I think
what's
we all use that.
going on? A guide
We
for the
do.
times.
With
And
expletives.
because my whole life has
Get it.
been about seeing the high side in everything. I mean, my
Yeah.
mother left when I was 5. She was 6. She didn't come back till I was 8. So from 5 till 8, I didn't have a mother, and I learned how to be okay by seeing everything positively and so on. And it has lasted right through. I've had the most amazing life. I can't even begin to tell you guys.
We look
And
forward to hearing, having conversation. It's wonderful to get to know you. Will be wonderful.
yeah,
And all
you,
of us, amazing women here. Yeah,
amazing
you're
women.
all beautiful
And
couple.
I love the idea that we can travel to Greece or we can go somewhere and
Yeah,
we
exactly.
can find
Absolutely.
allies and see what we
Absolutely.
can do.
Absolutely.
Joining
Co-produce,
together
nurturing.
is what we're all about.
Co-produce the nurturing. Little
Yeah,
lights around the world.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Satyana,
Thank
Satyana
you.
is waiting patiently.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shalimar. You inspired me too for a couple things.
Yeah.
I lost my mother to suicide when I was 6 years old, so I also have had quite a journey. And I wanted to say that when you offered your book, I want to do the same. The game Chérie can be also offered through the magazine, and we could do half. I just want it out there in the world. So if that can bring funds to the project, then I'm happy to contribute as well. And so there's that. I wanted to say, when I did the Green Valentine Festival in Laguna Beach, Marianne Williamson came, and she was at the time doing her Sister Giant event. And one of the things Marianne said, she said, there's so many women doing great things in the world. Before you start, I'm getting chills all over as I tell you, before you start a new nonprofit, go find out what your sister is doing and support her. And
Yeah.
so I just wanted to put that out there too, because that came through. With regards to the directory, I thought, what about reaching out to young kids that are in colleges that are learning about social media and everything? They are wonderful. They can do it easily. Maybe they're the granddaughter of some of the grandmothers. But if you can send out an email to all the grandmother and say, hey, we need some of the youth to come in and bring some tech energy in there, I think they could really do it. And the last thing I wanted to say also is that you mentioned the Pacific Domes, and I was blessed to, long time ago, I don't know if you guys know Gary Christmas, but he had connected with a woman from Pacific Domes, and we had gone to Indian reservation, and she had offered a dome to the reservation so that they could grow their own food in the dome. And I visited that dome at the time, and I was so amazing. So Mayana, if you speak to her or whatever, just you can tell her just thank you. She's just a beautiful woman. So I'm honored
Yeah,
to be part of this. It's just so wonderful. Thank you, thank you,
thanks.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Satyana.
so
I
much.
want I want to say just briefly that Peace Production is the nonprofit that has a program that we call Global Grandmothers Council Network. The Facebook group I was invited to turn into a nonprofit organization, and our 501c3 listens to people for what is your passion, what is your work. And then we invite them into our nonprofit, onto our board of directors to have their own program, and they immediately have 501c3 status. It's a little different than a fiscal sponsorship, where an organization will sponsor your project until you're up and running, but they also you're limited in grant writing and a lot of things. It's limited. The other organization's mission supersedes yours. So I just wanted to say that. And we've taken Regina Sen and her project, and Kelly Springer and her project, and my friend Yvette and her project, and Asha Deliverance from Pacific Domes is in our core. We have a core of 5 members, and then our board of directors is a peace council. So Kelly joined our peace council and Michelle joined our peace council, and together the 3 of us are in the manage the Global Grandmothers Council Network program of peace production.
So this could work for Shalimar and Satyana to ponder, and we could follow up with some information on that. That's beautiful, beautiful inspiration.
That's the
ideal
business, the way the business is established, because nobody needs to start a new nonprofit. We can work together. And then when we do have other nonprofits, the nonprofits work together, and that's really important. So
I did want to say something about people who are wanting to share a part of their profitability to support global grandmothers, I think it's important to know that you have a bigger yoke to work from, because we have a magazine and we have our group of 56,000 women. So when we have people who are fundraising for us by sharing profits, you not only can put an article and an ad in our magazine to promote what you're selling, but you also could get pre-approval from our admin team to be able to post your product for sale if you're telling the group that you're raising money for us, because it is helpful to all of us that way. And you get to promote your product, but also we get to help you reach more people. So that is an admin approved post. And is that agreeable, Mayana? Am I correct?
Yes, yes. We don't let promotions go through the Global Grandmothers Council Network group unless it's fundraising for us, and that gets admin approval ahead of time. And we do that. I just want to share, so that we do have the ambassador program. Michelle is our global ambassador, and she is our global outreach. Kalina is ambassador for Ontario, Canada region. Callie is an ambassador on the ground in Southern Oregon. I'm an ambassador on the ground in Virginia. And what that means is, oh, and we have an ambassador in Germany, and there's a Ggcn German speaking group on Facebook. And the ambassador program eventually would be the on the ground links where we unite in purpose and action on the ground where we are at the same time. And
which is what Maria alluded to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important that we grow into doing that, that we grow into the on the ground. I've been surveying our members, and one of the most important things that I see in all of the surveys is people want to be doing things local where they are. Yeah, it's nice to have the Zooms. It's nice to have the global people and the global connections, but these on the ground in my town where I am, united with everyone else who's on the ground where they are, that's where the power really comes in, really is strong.
That's where we shrink the globe. That's where we unify, and connect the conduits that will flow around, and around. Yes. Beautiful. Well said, Mayana. Thank you.
And then I have one more thing in the chat that I wanted to make you aware of: the World Cultures Curriculum in a Box. I'm offering this to Global Grandmothers Council Network to help me develop and implement. I've also been speaking with a woman she's in Singapore and Sicily, both. She's an educator. She was a creator of the Smart Cities project. For 20 years, she was a lead designer of the Smart Cities. And then she found out they didn't have any interest in humanity, only in technology. And she stepped away, and she's developed a pilot project that's being implemented in Singapore to teach people how to communicate together in new ways. And for children, it's a whole new program. I can't really do it justice in this moment, but
let's table that. Fascinating.
Just a second. When I submitted this to her, she is implementing it for her stage 2. And the Wheel of Learning World Cultures Curriculum in a Box brings all the cultures of the world. So women all over the world can say, here's our food, here's our textures, here's our colors, here's our fabrics, here's a little box. And the child gets one box a month, and their whole curriculum is inside that box. And they explore each culture every month. So this is an opportunity that if you feel like that's your calling, that you want to see that happen, that we have a fundraiser happening to develop that project.
That's beautiful. Okay. So we're 2 hours into our meeting now. I think we
Just
need
in
to
time for breakfast, ladies. Come and join
Lovely.
us.
But it's been a really full and beautiful gathering of everyone's hearts and minds and souls today. And thank you all for your shares and your input and everything you've been contributing. I wrote some notes to some of you in the chat. Please save the chat. And if you have trouble with that and don't get it, just reach out to one of us and we'll send it to you. And I'll make certain you get it, Michelle. And so thank you all for everything. It was very beautiful today. Thank you so much.
Such a joy. I'm so glad for all the new faces in here and for all the loved old faces and and the beloveds that we all are to each other. I really appreciate your presence. Kalina, did you have something you wanted to say before we close out? Your hand's still up.
I didn't see that it was still up, sorry there. But no, I just thank you everybody for being here and appreciate all of your just being part of the circle. Thank you.
And Mayana, if
Thank
we could
you
just
very
say
much.
thank you for providing and organizing the Zooms, which you've always done with grace and poise and dignity, and raising all the issues and all the excitement and tabling everything and manifesting as we move forward. It's wonderful to see how far we've come. But it's even more exciting to see where we're going and the alignment from today's meeting with those beautiful women. BT, wonderful insight. Absolutely, we'll follow up on that. We'll get some sort of a logo thing going. Every voice was heard and every voice was so important. Thank you all mostly. And thank you to our ancestral lineage and culture of being a woman. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. What a
Yeah.
blessing.
Wow.
If I
Thank
may
you.
just say, Mayana, here it's midnight. I don't know if it's possible for the next times where you have gathering to do it a little bit earlier, so I wouldn't feel like I have to leave. I usually go to bed much earlier, so I just make a little request.
Yeah, the challenge
Satyana.
we have.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Michelle. The challenge
For
is
me,
Michelle's in
Satyana was
Australia.
I was at 5 a.m. wake up for the 6 a.m. call. So it's a very tricky to get America and Europe and Australia.
Oh, you're in
We
Australia.
rotate.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we
Okay.
rotate.
Then I didn't know that. I thought you
I
were.
have a 1 a.m. I do have a 1 a.m. on Earth Day. That will be 1 a.m. for me, but I will start early. I will go to bed at 7 and meet you at 1 a.m. And hopefully you can join us for the Earth Day. Is that a
I'll
better
do my
time for
best.
you? That will be your afternoon. Yeah.
Then it will be great. Yes. Thank you so
Perfect.
much. Blessed be everybody. Thank
I
you.
wanted to offer a little hum to go out on, okay? And you can sing along.
Bye-bye, my darlings.
Things to us all. Much love from my heart to yours. And our united heart is changing the world. We are the ones and we are here. Aho.
Aho.
Blessings.
So mote it be. Blessings. So mote it be. Onwards and upwards. Here we come. Thank you.